Humans may be at the top of the food chain, but we are far from being the largest in terms of size and weight. In fact, the largest creatures are so huge that they are hard to imagine, and sometimes they're also very ferocious. In this video, we bring you the largest creatures to ever exist on Earth. Number 1. Argentinosaurus. Argentina may have been in the news a lot lately for finally winning the World Cup after a long wait. However, the country has a connection to something that goes millions of years into the past, the now extinct Argentinosaurus. When Argentinosaurus, the world's largest dinosaur, was discovered in Argentina in 1987, it shook paleontology to its core, which is not surprising given its massive size. Some reconstructions place this dinosaur at 75 to 85 feet long and up to 75 tons, while others are more daring, claiming a total length of 100 feet and a weight of 100 tons. Based on well-attested fossil evidence, Argentinosaurus is the largest dinosaur ever discovered. Given its enormous size, it's fitting that Argentinosaurus is classified as a titanosaur, a group of light-armored sauropods that spread to every continent later in the Cretaceous period. The closest titanosaur relative to this dinosaur appears to have been the much smaller Saltosaurus, which weighed only 10 tons and lived a few million years later. Surprisingly, its massive size did not protect it from becoming prey to other ferocious animals. The Argentinosaurus remains are linked to those of the 10-ton carnivore Giganotosaurus, implying that these two dinosaurs shared the same territory in Middle Cretaceous South America. While no Giganotosaurus could have taken down a full-grown Argentinosaurus on its own, it's possible that these large theropods hunted in packs, thus leveling the odds. Given its massive size, it's unlikely that Argentinosaurus could move faster than a taxiing 747 jet plane. According to one estimate, this dinosaur walked at a top speed of 5 miles per hour, meaning you stand a chance of outrunning this monster. If Argentinosaurus congregated in herds, as appears likely, a slow-moving stampede triggered by a hungry Giganotosaurus could have wiped out the average watering hole entirely. But for an animal this huge, how large would its eggs be? Well, there is an upper limit to the size of any given dinosaur egg due to physical and biological constraints. Given its massive size, Argentinosaurus most likely brushed up against that limit. But based on comparisons with eggs of other titanosaurs, Argentinosaurus eggs would be about a foot in diameter, quite puny. The females laid up to 10 to 15 eggs at a time, increasing the likelihood that at least one hatchling would evade predators and survive to adulthood. We still don't know much about the growth rates of plant-eating dinosaurs like sauropods and titanosaurs, but juveniles most likely matured at a much slower rate than warm-blooded tyrannosaurs and raptors. Given the ultimate size of Argentinosaurus, a newborn hatchling could have taken 3 or 4 decades to reach full adult size, representing a mind-bending 25,000% increase in bulk from hatchling to herd alpha, depending on the model used. Number 2. The blue whale. Blue whales are the largest animals to have ever lived on Earth. With lengths of up to 100 feet and weights of up to 200 tons, these magnificent marine mammals undisputedly rule the oceans. Their tongues can be as heavy as an elephant, and their hearts are as big as a car. Blue whales achieve these incredible sizes by feeding almost entirely on tiny shrimp-like animals known as krill. A single adult blue whale consumes approximately 4 tons of krill per day when it's in the mood. Blue whales are baleen whales, meaning they have fringed plates of fingernail-like material attached to their upper jaws called baleen. The enormous animals feed by gulping a massive mouthful of water and then expanding the pleated skin on their throat and belly to take it in. The water is then forced out by the whale's massive tongue through the thin overlapping baleen plates. Thousands of krill are left behind before being devoured. Blue whales appear true blue underwater, but their coloring is mottled blue-gray on the surface, and the millions of microorganisms that live in their skin give their underbellies a yellowish hue. Blue whales have broad, flat heads and long tapered bodies with wide, triangular flukes. Blue whales can be found in all of the world's oceans except the Arctic, swimming in small groups occasionally but usually alone or in pairs. They frequently spend the summers feeding in polar waters and then make long migrations to the equator as winter approaches. These graceful swimmers cruise the ocean at speeds of more than 5 miles per hour, but can reach speeds of more than 20 miles per hour when agitated. Blue whales are among the most audible creatures on the planet. They emit a series of pulses, groans, and moans, and blue whales are thought to be able to hear each other up to 1,000 miles away in good conditions. Scientists believe they use these vocalizations not only to communicate, but also to navigate the dark ocean depths using sonar. And their calves automatically join the league of the world's largest creatures when they're born. A baby blue whale emerges from its mother's womb after about a year, weighing up to 3 tons and stretching to 25 feet. It survives solely on its mother's milk and bulks up at approximately 200 pounds per day for the first year. Blue whales are among the longest living animals on the planet. Scientists have discovered that counting the layers of a deceased whale's wax-like earplugs can provide an accurate age estimate. The oldest blue whale discovered using this method was approximately 110 years old. The average lifespan is estimated to be between 80 and 90 years, which is comparable to humans. And apart from humans, blue whales have few predators, but are known to be attacked by sharks and killer whales, or injured or killed each year as a result of collisions with large ships. Number 3. Fin whales. Following its close and colossal relative, the blue whale, the fin whale is the second largest baleen whale. These whales have an amazing appearance that sets them apart from other swimmers out at sea, measuring 70 to 80 feet long, with females slightly larger than males. Fin whales live for an estimated 80 to 90 years. The back and sides of the fin whale are generally light gray to brownish black. Its body is long, sleek, and streamlined, beginning with a large V-shaped head. It has a distinctive asymmetrical coloring under its lower jaw, with gray or black on the left side and white on the right. Where 2 V-shaped chevrons rest midline behind their large blowhole and above their tall, curved dorsal fin, the fin whale's grayish-colored body begins to lighten. But what do these big guys eat? Fin whales have a hearty appetite. They keep their weight stable by consuming up to 2 tons of food per day. Krill, a small crustacean, and small schooling fish like capelin, herring, and sandlance are fair game. A delectable selection of squid also appears regularly on the menu. The fin whale has been observed circling schools of fish in search of prey. The fin whale circles at high speeds, rolling schools of fish into compact balls before turning on its side to engulf the grub in its large mouth. Because the fin whale is a rorqual whale, its throat grooves expand like an accordion when catching prey. These grooves expand to accommodate a large amount of both fish and seawater as they snare the fish in their large jaw area. The fin whale filters food particles as saltwater strains from their massive mouth using their 250 to nearly 500 baleen plates. Fin whales reach sexual maturity between the ages of 6 and 12 years old, with males reaching sexual maturity between the ages of 6 and 10 and females between the ages of 7 and 12. Female fin whales carry a single calf for 12 months after reaching maturity and give birth in tropical and subtropical areas during midwinter. A newborn calf weighs between 4,000 and 6,000 pounds and can grow to be 18 feet long. They and their species have a lifespan of up to 80 years. Now, you're probably curious whether a fin whale can swallow a human. They can't because it's not physically possible. While whales can have enormous mouths, their throats are much smaller than you might think, roughly the size of a human fist. So if you somehow end up in a fin whale's mouth, just hang on tight, as you'll be swept out again in no time. Number 4. The Megalodon. Its time might have passed, but the Megalodon once held sway over the Earth's waters. Carcharocles megalodon, also known simply as Megalodon or Megatooth, was the most famous prehistoric shark, ruling the seas from approximately 17 million years ago to nearly 3 million years ago. The colossal predator grew up to be as long as a boxcar, reaching lengths of up to 60 feet. Paleontologists believe the massive shark required 2,500 pounds of food per day. That's equivalent to eating 3,300 cans of tuna every day. Megalodon's mouth, like the rest of its body, was massive. Its jaws were large enough to swallow two adults standing next to each other. The giant shark was a ferocious eater. It consumed whales, dolphins, seals, and possibly other sharks with its razor-sharp, banana-sized teeth. Now, sharks constantly shed their teeth. They lose thousands of choppers in a lifetime. Because megalodons were discovered in warm waters all over the world, their teeth have been discovered all over the world too. Hundreds of megalodon teeth have been discovered in oceans and on beaches around the world by scientists. Researchers have learned more about these extinct animals by studying them, such as the fact that megalodons most likely spent their time in shallow waters close to shore. The largest megalodon tooth ever discovered was as long as a TV remote. The beast's bite force was more than 3 times stronger than the T-Rex's and could crush a car. However, being the largest and most toothy fish in the sea didn't always keep megalodons safe from predators. Other adult sharks didn't mind having newborn megalodons for dinner. The megalodon is an example of a shark that was unable to adapt to its changing surroundings. Animals, unlike humans, cannot always relocate to a new location or find a new food source when their habitat changes. Megalodons adapted to warm waters and required a large number of enormous marine mammals to feed on. Paleontologists believe that when the climate changed a few million years ago and other large marine mammals moved to colder waters, the megalodons were left behind with insufficient food to survive. Some people believe that megalodons are still swimming in unknown parts of the ocean. Although much of the ocean remains unexplored, scientists say it would be difficult to miss a 50-foot-long nearshore shark with a taste for whales. Unfortunately, the megalodon is gone. We have to move on. Number 5. The giant Pacific octopus. Octopuses are intelligent animals that can pull tricks on humans. However, the giant Pacific octopus impresses with more than just intelligence. It's one massive octopus. The largest octopus species, the giant Pacific octopus, is typically reddish-pink with a delicate vein-like pattern that fades to white on the underside of the arms. Its 8 arms are covered with suction cups, 2,240 in females and about 100 fewer in males, that provide the octopus with an iron grip, as well as exquisite taste and smell senses. The giant Pacific octopus's arms can range in length from 7 feet or 2 meters to 13 feet or 4 meters or more. The giant Pacific octopus has a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. That is remarkable, as octopuses in general have a 1-year lifespan. A giant Pacific octopus will have a solitary existence until the end, when it will seek out a mate, reproduce, and die. The size of this octopus is impressive. A mature giant Pacific octopus can weigh over 50 pounds, and the heaviest of them ever recorded weighed 200 pounds and measured nearly 20 feet across. Imagine one of these crawling toward you. Like all octopuses, the giant Pacific octopus is a mollusk, a boneless invertebrate related to clams. It has a soft body and a shell reduced to 2 small plates with a head muscles anchor, as well as a powerful parrot-like beak. But this is no sedentary, shell-bound muscle. It's quick, clever, and sneaky, and it's covered in suction cups. An adult giant Pacific octopus is a sly hunter who consumes a diverse range of seafood. Woe betide the crustaceans such as crabs, clams, and other mollusks that cross its path. The giant Pacific octopus uses camouflage, jet propulsion, and the shore grip that comes with having 8 arms to catch prey by surprise. The octopus will then retreat to its rocky den for a leisurely meal. Once inside its den, an octopus employs 3 distinct methods to penetrate its hard-shelled prey. It may tear the hard-shelled prey apart with its beak, bite it open, or drill through its shell. Prey that is difficult to separate or bite open is drilled. The octopus's saliva secretions soften the shell. To scrape away the softened material and create a tiny hole, the octopus uses a hard, rough tongue called a radula. The octopus secretes a toxin through this hole, which paralyzes the prey and begins to dissolve the animal's connective tissue. The prey is then dismembered and consumed. Number 6. The Shastasaurus. When dinosaurs ruled the land, other massive reptiles ruled the seas. They included ichthyosaurs, a group of reptiles that looked a lot like dolphins. With their streamlined bodies, flat flippers, and powerful fluked tails, they cut through the prehistoric oceans. They gave birth to living offspring in the water, and with pointed snouts and conical teeth, they snapped at fish and squid. But one of them was unique. Shastosaurus is a unique type of ichthyosaur. It has a tiny head, a short snout, and most importantly, no teeth. The Shastosaurus lived between 235 and 205 million years ago, during the middle of the late Triassic period. It was a carnivorous marine reptile that was the largest marine reptile ever. This means there was a lot of ocean for marine reptiles like Shastosaurus to swim in. Because the Earth was warmer, there was less polar ice, and the oceans were warmer as well. It could have coexisted with the earlier plesiosaurs because their timelines overlap slightly, but it was 120 million years too early to swim with Mosasaurus. It could have grown to be 85 feet long and weighed up to 150,000 pounds, making it as long as a blue whale. It could not have bitten its prey in the same way that other ichthyosaurs or modern dolphins do. It was actually a suction feeder. It created a sudden influx of water by quickly opening its mouth and pulling back its tongue, sweeping its prey into its open jaws. So just how big was the Shastosaurus's head? The Shastosaurus's head would be 2 to 3 meters long depending on where it was measured. The discovered fossil was part of a jawbone that measured 3 feet or 96 centimeters long. As an ichthyosaur, the Shastosaurus could swim at a speed of about 25 miles per hour or 40 kilometers per hour when necessary. However, the majority of the time they would be swimming around at 4 to 8 kilometers per hour or about 4 miles per hour. And they, like most animals, would have only gone fast when it was necessary, such as when hunting or evading a predator. Number 7. The Hyperion. There are trillions of trees in the world, but the tallest among them is Hyperion, which resides in the Redwood National Park in the US. It stood at 380 feet 9.7 inches or 116.07 meters tall from top to bottom when it was last measured in 2019, taller than a 35-story building. It is situated on a hillside where the majority of the old-growth coastal redwoods have been felled. Hyperion has managed to avoid the chainsaw, and the tree is estimated to be between 600 and 800 years old. The living skyscraper was discovered in 2006 by Chris Atkins and Michael Taylor, who were part of a team of researchers who were tramping through the California forest at the time looking for the tallest trees. At the time, the tree stood at 379 feet, 1.2 inches tall, or 115.5 meters tall. Coastal redwoods are not only the tallest trees on the planet, but they're also among the oldest living things on the planet, with lifespans of up to 2,000 years. It is unclear why these trees can live to be so old, but climate may play a role. Even when inland, California burns in the summer, but the coastal groves are shrouded in thick fog, keeping the temperature cool all year. The coast also receives about 100 inches of rain per year, which aids in the growth of these giant groves. Coast redwoods are also among the most resilient trees on the planet. According to the NPS, their tannin-rich bark appears to be nearly impervious to the fungus and disease that kills other trees, and their 12-inch thick bark allows them to withstand the wildfires that have historically swept through the Sierras. And nope, you can't visit the Hyperion. A swarm of travel bloggers, tree enthusiasts, and recreational climbers succeeded, but at the expense of the surrounding undergrowth. As a result, the National Park Service has restricted access to this wonderful tree. Anyone who gets too close now faces up to 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine under a new rule. Number 8. Sperm whales. Sperm whales are the largest of the toothed whales. They can grow up to 60 feet in length. Sperm whales are mostly dark gray with white patches on their bellies. They are the only living cetaceans with a single asymmetrical blowhole on the left side of the crown of their head. Their heads are enormous, accounting for approximately 1/3 of their total body length. The skin behind the ear is frequently wrinkled. Their lower jaw is narrow and the area closest to their teeth is white. The inside of the mouth is frequently bright white as well. Each side of the lower jaw has between 20 and 26 large teeth. Upper jaw teeth rarely break through the gums. Sperm whale flippers are paddle-shaped and small in comparison to the size of their body, with triangular flukes. They have small, low, thick, and usually rounded dorsal fins, and they have the largest brain of any known creature on Earth. Their heads also contain a large amount of a substance known as spermaceti. Whalers once thought the oily fluid was sperm, but scientists still don't know what spermaceti do. One popular theory holds that the fluid, which hardens to wax when cold, assists the whale in changing its buoyancy so that it can dive deep and rise again. Sperm whales hunt for food during deep dives that can last 45 minutes and reach depths of 2,000 feet. They can dive to depths of over 10,000 feet for more than 60 minutes. Individuals come to the surface after long, deep dives to breathe and recover for a few minutes before beginning their next dive. Female sperm whales reach sexual maturity when they're about 9 years old and 29 feet long. Growth slows at this point, and they have a calf once every 5 to 7 years. A single calf about 13 feet long is born after a 14 to 16-month gestation period. Females reach their maximum length and physical maturity around the age of 30 and can grow up to be about 35 feet long. Males are slightly larger than females for the first 10 years of life, but males continue to grow significantly until they are well into their 30s. Males reach physical maturity at around 50 years of age and 52 feet in length. Male puberty is longer than female puberty, lasting between the ages of 10 and 20 years. Males are sexually mature at this age, but they often do not actively participate in breeding until they are in their late 20s. Number 9. Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus was the biggest of all the carnivorous dinosaurs, reaching up to 60 feet in length. The name means spine lizard, which is an apt description because the dinosaur had very long spines growing on its back, forming what is known as a sail. These spines, which grew from the animal's back vertebrae, were up to 7 feet or 2.1 meters long and were most likely connected by skin. This dinosaur did not have many predators because of its size, but the sail could have helped to ward off enemies because the dinosaur would have appeared to be twice its size with the sail fully extended. The dinosaur's upper spine was relatively flexible, and its vertebrae had ball and socket joints, implying that it could arch its back to a point. When threatened or looking for a mate, it may have been able to spread the sail. Spinosaurus had a long, narrow snout at the tip of its skull, as well as a small crest above its eyes. It had 6 or 7 needle-like teeth on each side of the upper jaw's very front, and another 12 teeth behind them. There was also a few large, slanted teeth at the end of the snout that interlocked. And while its jaw was strong, none of its teeth were serrated, making it unlikely that it could have ripped through tough prey with them. Spinosaurus is thought to have survived primarily on fish from the dinosaur's river system, such as giant coelacanths, sawfish, large lungfish, and sharks. Spinosaurus was a dinosaur that lived in Egypt and Morocco. The Sahara is thought to be rich in Spinosaurus fossils, but the harsh environment makes them difficult to find. There have been very few Spinosaurus fossils discovered, and no complete remains have been discovered. Richard Markgraf discovered the first Spinosaurus partial skeleton in the Bahariya Formation of Western Egypt in 1912. These original remains, described and named by Ernest Stromer in 1915, were destroyed during World War II Allied bombing raids on Munich, Germany. Stromer's meticulous notes, including detailed descriptions and sketches, are the only reason that much of the dinosaur's scant knowledge has survived. Number 10. Tylosaurus. The Tylosaurus was not only massive, but it was the deadliest hunter of the ancient seas. With true jaws of death and 2 rows of pointy, cone-shaped teeth on each side, it was ready to seize and kill any smaller creature that crossed its path. Tylosaurus used its snout to locate prey, which was then swallowed whole once inside the mosasaur's menacing jaws. When the sea monster opened its mouth wide for the final gulp, 2 rows of teeth on the roof of its mouth prevented crippled captives from fleeing. Tylosaurus grew to be more than 45 feet, 14 meters long, making it the largest of the mosasaur marine reptiles. Tylosaurus, like all mosasaurs, was propelled through the water by a long and muscular, vertically flattened tail, allowing it to ambush its prey with rapid bursts of acceleration. The slim body, covered in lizard-like scales, was guided through the water by paddle-like limbs. Preserved stomach contents indicate a fish-heavy diet, but seabirds, sharks, plesiosaurs, and other mosasaurs also perished at the hands of the Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus, though not a dinosaur, lived alongside them and died out around the same time. Many Tylosaurus remains have been discovered in Kansas, which was once covered by the Western Interior Seaway, a large ocean. Let's hear which of these massive creatures fascinate you the most